Hey YouTube, Kent here from Think Trade Profit. In this video, I want to give you your first look at trading options with Fidelity in Fidelity Active Trader Pro. So a lot of what I'm about to show you, these features and some of these tools, the things they give you for analysis, you wouldn't be able to see them without having an account with Fidelity and having options enabled. So it's really a great first look if you're curious about what options trading looks like with Fidelity or what it looks like in Active Trader Pro and what's available to you. This video is definitely for you. Before we jump into it, I just want to bring up the disclaimer and let you know that options carry a high degree of risk. So educate yourself, know what you're trading, just don't jump in there without knowing what you're doing. And again, this video is for educational purposes. I'm not saying you should trade this way. Some of the things I might suggest have a lot of risk. Talk about day trading and day trading options. Just know what you're getting into before you trade with real money. So this is my day trading layout. If you're new to the channel or new to my videos, there's some links in the description below that has a video specifically about how to set this up in Fidelity. So this is my stock day trading layout, but I'm going to use a large portion of this for options trading too. I do run multiple monitors, and some of these tools and strategy builders ideally would be run on a second screen, and you use your main screen to keep an eye on what you're trading. I'm going to bring some things over on top of this main screen just to let you know that they're here. So this is filters, and this is available to everyone, even if you don't have options enabled. And I'm going to cover up some things here temporarily. But I want to show you about what's available within filters and options. So filters are in quotes and watch lists and filters. So if you go to Fidelity Active Trader Pro and the main menu with that green frame and go to filters, this is what comes up. And then you go to options. And they have quite a few selections here, so I just wanted to share this with you. You can search by, kind of filter by high option volume, high call volume, high put volume, and all of this stuff, implied volatility. So very cool. And then there's some submenus too. So there's a lot just built in right there, depending on what you're scanning for. There is an opportunity for customs, and this can be actually set up in Fidelity on the website online. So you can create custom filters of your own, and then they'll come through to Fidelity Active Trader Pro while you have that platform up and you're trading. There's quite a bit here as far as order flow, time spreads. There's just a ton. So it's a great option. This is available to anybody. This should be available on demo as well, so you can check that out. But filters, and again, that's in quotes and watch lists in filters. So I'm going to obscure some of my layout to show you some of the other things that are available to those who trade options. So again, your layout can be completely different than this. I just want to give you some of these menus pop up from this Fidelity Active Trader Pro mainframe, so it's a little bit easier to show you this way. So the first thing that's available is if you need to discover the option chain for whatever instrument you are trading. You go to options and then option chain. And this gives you a really nice graphical layout, and you can see everything that's available. So you can see the weeks up here. You've got calls, puts. You can actually trade from these. If you click on a bid or an ask, it'll pop up this trade window. So I'm not going to trade this way. This is a little bit slow. It's a little bit clunky. I'm going to use the directed trade window, and I'll show you how to trade much faster with there with some custom shortcuts. But just know that if you want to, you can generate trades right from this options chain. So the next thing on that list is filters we've been over. Then options summary. This is going to be related to things that you have in your account. So I don't have any open positions, so it's not going to give me any related underlying strategies available to my positions. Let's close this and let's go to option trade builder. So this is pretty cool, and again, you're not going to get to see this unless you have options enabled, so pay attention to this spot. So basically this will just ask you some questions to get going. So let's say we're bullish, and we're bullish on Apple, and let's say we were looking to buy calls. It has a little kind of tutorial explanation here, but then it starts giving you some different choices here. So this is near-term strike price. I'm looking at the current price, and and then you can hit next. So this is kind of like a step-by-step approach. Let's do that. October 16th. Then it gives you the bid, the ask, and you can hit next. It also has probabilities over here. And then it starts to cook up a potential trade for you. And this is all toggleable and that kind of thing. And you can load the trade ticket from here. It's a little bit slow, but this is good if you're new and you want to be, kind of step-by-step led through what might be a possible trade for you. Let's look at it one more time. Let's look at it with SPY. And we'll say we're neutral. I just want to see what it suggests. So you got covered call or cash covered put. So we'll go to covered call. It talks about what that is. And there's some strike prices. Let's go with this one next. And it talks about the benefits, the risks, the probability, finishing above that strike price by the expiration date. So a lot of cool stuff, and then you can load a trade ticket from here. Again, this isn't how I would trade, but it's neat if you just want to explore and have them do some of the math for you and just take a look at what you could trade. So the next thing is option statistics. So again, a lot of information here, and the next few menus actually hover around all these tabs. So here's the stats. So we looked at Apple, and it's got all kinds of stuff, right? Historical volatility and implied volatility, the volume, bid and ask. What else we got in here? Percentage out of the money, bought an ask, sold on bid. So a lot of information. It depends on how technical you are and how well or how deep you want to dive into these stats. Then we'll go to, if you go up here, you can see this menu kind of corresponds with this window. So now we're going to go down these other selections all the way to strategy ideas. So the next one is today's biggest trades. So this is specifically an Apple, but we could go to SPY, and it'll show you these large trades. So it's kind of interesting, depending on what you're looking for. So that's Facebook, and again, this menu corresponds with these tabs. So we'll go to probability calculator. And if you're really deep into options, then you can play around with this. You can see, change the 3 months. You can change it to 1 or 2 standard deviations. I'd probably go 2. I'd say 1 month of historical data. And you can play around with the probabilities for different prices for Facebook. I think TD Ameritrade has something very similar, and most platforms should, because this is a big deal when you're looking at historic volatility and trying to look to the future. But all of this is toggleable, so powerful tools that you should have as an options trader. Alright, so the next item on that menu, and was also in those tabs, is the profit loss calculator. So again, we'll go take a look at Apple. And we don't have a position right now, so let's see if I can cook something up here. We'll add simulated position. Add simulated position. There we go. Say 10 contracts at something near term. We'll say calls, and we'll hit apply. So there we go. So this is the profit loss calculator, and you can play around with this. So obviously a lot of information here for you, and it's got the profit and loss. This is only 2 days out. We're looking at tomorrow actually. So it's pretty interesting, pretty powerful. And from this menu, last but not least, we have strategy ideas. So I've looked at this before. This is pretty nice as well. It gives you some ideas. It goes through, it's got 2-year backtested performance, the return over 2 years. You can play around with all these stats, but it's pretty cool, and the website goes into even greater detail as well. I think we're going to see that next. But these are just some trade ideas. Cash covered puts. Then they have these. You can play around with all this and it'll give you some different stuff. And again, this is just for Apple, so you can change it, go to Facebook, or whatever it is you want to trade, 30, 60, 90 days out. So here's SPY, estimated income be $1,000. There's just a ton of power here if you put it to use. And then the last item on this menu is options research. And I think this kicks over to the website. So what you're going to see here is it does open a web browsing window, and a lot of this is going to be available online as well if you log in to Fidelity, to your account. But this is a market overview. It's got some different things from a scanner provided by these people, Livevol. So you got high option volume and exploding and imploding implied volatilities. Let's take a look at Facebook. Oh, okay, it jumped to trading ideas. So let's go back to market overview. So that was that. I haven't played around with the strategy evaluator at all. There's some commentary here, quotes and tools. Just has some strikes and some stats. We saw some of this. The P&L calculator. This is kind of similar to what we saw in Active Trader Pro. It looks a little bit better in Active Trader Pro. But let's go over to trading ideas. This one's pretty interesting too. So they give you a couple. They give you ideas every day, but just a ton of power here. Here's all kinds of strategies you can put on. If you're familiar with options, there's a bunch of things in here, and they'll make suggestions for you. And if we go to Strategy Evaluator, you can set up some things, and it'll evaluate them for you. I haven't dug into this too much, but a lot to play with. If you're going to do some kind of, you can do straddle strangles, all this stuff, and you can evaluate certain strategies. So I haven't played around with this, but it looks like kind of an expert level tool. Trading ideas. I thought there was a daily. Here we go. Intraday trade ideas. What are we on? Wednesday? There wasn't. So this was from yesterday. They actually, Argus Research kicks out some trade ideas to you. And there's usually a couple every day. So this was yesterday. I didn't see anything today. But you can see that this came out at 10. This came out early in the AM, 6:28 AM, 6:26 AM. So they had quite a few ideas yesterday. So there's stuff to piggyback on there as well. So let's jump over to the main screen and let's put on some trades. Talking about options and the opportunities available to you, one thing I overlooked, I've been lucky enough to have a pattern day trader account. I'm mostly a stock guy. I trade equities and I day trade them. But I realized I haven't traded options in a long time. They're just not my vehicle of choice, but there are a lot of attractive things with options, and specifically options in a cash account. I didn't realize how important the difference in settlement times were. Options settle faster than stock trades. So they settle in trade date +1. So you could potentially avoid the PDT rule and day trade with a cash options account, because the PDT rule only applies to, the pattern day trader rule only applies to margin accounts. So if you had a cash options account and you traded near out of the money strike price options and some liquid items where the contracts weren't too expensive, you wouldn't need that much money to have quite a few day trades available to you. So what do I mean by that? Let's take a look at SPY, for example. So this is the directed trade window. So if you're not familiar with Fidelity, the directed trade window is in trades and orders, and go to, in this case, directed trade options. And you're going to get a window that looks like this. So the reason I like that window is it's like a level 2. We can pull up a couple different strikes where we were at 340. We're around 346, 347. So here's the different ECNs and exchanges for SPY with tomorrow's expiration. Calls it a strike price of 347. And this is the chart for SPY right now in the 1 minute. So you can see these are near term and there's decent volume there, and here's the price change. This is how I would choose to trade options, because it's fast. The reason it's fast is you can create custom shortcuts for how you like to trade to populate this trade ticket, and you can literally submit a trade in 2 clicks. For example, on this I have buy the bid. So in this instrument I could click buy the bid and it fills the trade ticket in like that, and I can just hit place. I could also buy market and it'll fill in the ticket like that, and I could hit place and it's off. So it's a little bit easier than some of the other things like trading off the options chain or using the general trade ticket. And again, I have a video about this where I do it with stocks and demonstrate it. I'll show you here in a few minutes with options too, but I just want to talk to people who are new to the platform. So the directed trade window, and we're kind of seeing the level 2 quote for SPY in real time. So jumping back into this directed trade setup, again from this main window that I would have off screen, if you go to directed trade and option shortcuts, they're separate from stock shortcuts. You can have up to 6 shortcuts, and these can be custom, or there are some built-in ones as well, like Fidelity builds some. But I like to make the customs because I can name them what I want. But if I go to option shortcuts, I'm going to change one of these to this short at market. I'm going to change this to sell to close, and limit, and at the ask. It'll just make things a little bit faster. So now, whoops, I didn't change the name of that thing, so the button is still the same name, but we'll go back there. And again, the one I did was short ask, I thought. Short, oh, I'm sorry. Short ask, sell to, I want this to be sell ask. Sorry. So sell to close, 1 at the ask, day, cash, blah. So now I've got buy bid, sell the ask, sell market, buy market. These other ones are shorts, which I'm not really going to do. I'm just going to do some puts or calls or something like that. So these will populate the ticket correctly. So we got buy the bid, and it goes off of what the quote was at that time, and then sell the ask should be 1. Yeah, it's quotes changing pretty fast because it's SPY, but you get it. All right, but that's where those are set up, and there's quite a bit of configuration as far as above the ask, below the ask, and the same thing for stocks. You can. Depending on what you're trading, you can set it up to offer you a penny or so better than the offer to sell, and you can get all in between the spread, and be quick about it. So one other spot I want to show you, if you're not familiar, is, and again, this isn't how I trade, it's a little bit slower, but it's got a nice UI component to it. So if you're not in a super rush, is something called Trade Armor. And if you go to Trade Armor and go to trade, oh, I'm sorry, put in a symbol, we'll pick Apple again, and you go to the options tab, then it'll show you some calls or puts, and you can do some different things here from this menu, and you can put in a trade from here. And there's a lot of configurability here as far as that, and the order type. So you can do stop limit, trailing stop, those kind of things, and you can manage it depending on if you had certain limits or trailing stops. You can manage the trades or the values from this UI. Once you have the trade in or the position in, you can drag these elements around and adjust things that way. I think it's a little bit slow. I like to scalp fast markets, but I just want to let you know that this is available as well. So there's a couple different ways to kind of keep an eye on your trade. They call it Trade Armor because you can manage your stops really easy through the UI. You can just drag your stop or slide it up if it's just a limit, but you can see all the different placements. So let's try to find something to trade. So if we were going in cold and we didn't know what we were looking for, I'm just going to look at, say, SPY, Apple, and Facebook. Something that each should be really liquid, and just see the cost of, say, some of the calls or some of the puts near term. So this is options that expire tomorrow. So in the money kind of, or just slightly out of the money options, they're pretty cheap, right? These are 94 cents, 95 cents. And the puts over here a little bit better. Let's look at Apple again. I think these are going to be a little bit more expensive. So we're looking at tomorrow. And let's change this quote over here so we can see the chart. You guys can peek over this. So Apple's trading about 120.50 right now. So we're looking at like 121, pretty cheap, 80 cents per contract. Or the puts are over here. And let's just look at Facebook. I used to love Facebook. I think these are a little bit more expensive. Obviously Facebook trades in a little bit bigger range. Let's look at the chart real quick. I'm probably just going to trade some SPY and maybe some Apple for you just to show you some executions. And tomorrow, what are these? 270s. Those are 270 calls, and the puts are obviously a lot more expensive because we're at 265. What about 267s? Facebook, it's a little bit more expensive. Okay. Let's get this out of the way. Let's just take a look at SPY first. I think it's very liquid. And we're going to pick tomorrow's very near term, and we're trading around 346.57. You can see it right here, 59. So we'll say 347. Let's say calls. So here's the current quote. Not much of a spread. It would be interesting to demonstrate getting in between the spread and that sort of thing. Looking, here's the 5-minute chart of SPY. So we're way up there today. We've nearly covered most of the gains. When we opened actually -4, and Nasdaq was down about 180. Nasdaq's been weaker than SPY today. So I don't know. Let's see if we can buy some on the bid and flip it real quick. So pretty inexpensive, not much of a spread. If I were going to buy the bid, I'm going to change this to cash, but I didn't have that set up right in the director trade keys, but that's okay. Let's see if we can get something close to the bid, and let's just see if we can flip it right here. It looks like we got some bottoming tails, and maybe this will bounce. I mean, I'm just taking a stab. I just want to show you guys the executions. Let's let it tick down one more second, and I'll change the bid to whatever it may not. Let's let it push down once more. We'll just see how fast. I guess it's not going to. Give it another second. A little bit of a struggle here at this point. This doesn't have the most volume for today, 5,000. Let's see what's got more volume. This looks a little bit better. So 70,000 contracts at this week, 346 calls, slightly in the money. These are a little bit more expensive, but let's see what we can get here. See what the puts look like. Puts are a little bit cheaper. And these are 346 puts. Let's let it bounce, let's let it bounce, let's let it bounce. Do it that way because I've got cash on there. Let's see how this goes. Did we get it? Here's the order, and it ticked up away from us. Let me cancel that. Let's try again. So no fill. That was a cancel. Let's try again. I think it's looking even. Better. Let's see if we can get 133. Change that to cash. Let's try that. There we are. We're in this group here. There we go. So we got a fill. And now SPY is jumping up. You can see the price change down here. And no price improvement on these. I wonder, that was one thing I wanted to find out in this video with you guys live. So here's the position window up here. So it's got my gain and loss. But one thing I was curious about is if I use a market order, do we get price improvement on options trades? So some of the experienced Fidelity traders and options probably know the answer to this question. I don't. I'm really curious. So we're going to use a market order to get out, and let's see if we get any kind of improvement. Let's see if I can at least flat it or make a little bit of money. But yeah, the execution wasn't bad. We were trying to buy in the bid. You'll see how fast the market orders are once I decide to execute this. Maybe we can get something. So we're flat. Let's see if we can get the bid to pop up one more second. Nope. I don't know if it's decent volume for these or not. Find out. But yeah, we're long at 134, right? Is that what we got it? No, we got it at 133. Why is this showing 134? Interesting. Let's give it one more second. Yeah, I'm a little confused by that. This must be some crazy key level. Our strike price is 346. I guess that's why it's so kind of volatile around here. But hopefully it'll dip down and we'll at least get we'll get flat. So options trades at Fidelity, they're commission free, but they're 65 cents a contract. And hopefully I don't have to keep you guys waiting, or I'll edit out all the wait time on this trade, but we'll just get out on a little bit of a dip here with the market order and see if we get some kind of price improvement. So there it goes, starting to go in our favor. And there's execution. But you can see how fast that is. So we sold it pretty much flat. We did get a price improvement. So that answers my price improvement question. There are price improvements on options as well as stocks. So Fidelity's been really great about that. You can see this in your account. I mean, this isn't much, but I only had one contract. But essentially what this is saying is that I got filled at better than the best national best bid and offer at that time. And we could see it if we go look in times and sales. It was probably bid at 132 or 133, or maybe it changed right when I hit the execution. But they recorded as a price improvement, and they report it here, and again it's online too. So interesting. If you're trading options with a bigger spread or something like that, there is the opportunity for price improvement. Usually it happens on market orders. Usually I've had it on limit orders as well, but mostly market orders is where they help you out, and whoever they route the orders to, they give you a piece of that, and they don't sell their order flow. So it's a nice feature of Fidelity. It's one of the reasons I use them. A lot of people complain about the platform, but honestly the executions are really good. Let's look at something else. I wasn't calling the right spot on SPY very much, but let's see like Apple or Facebook or something like that. And maybe I'll use a market order on both sides just to, again, to show you the speed. There's no delay. If you're familiar with, if you've seen some of my other videos and that kind of thing, the executions are really fast. There's no issues. I'm less familiar with Apple, but let's take a look. It's pretty liquid. So obviously Apple's following the SPY, like what we just saw, that kind of upward motion. So what kind of strike do we want to look at? 121. 121 puts. How about that? Let's see what we can do here. Let me change this to cash again. I don't have my keys set up. So 122. Let's try that. See if we get filled. So here's the order. Here's the market. Again, I'm bidding it. I should have market ordered it, but let's see if we get in between that spread. So we got it at 122. And this is going up with SPY as well, so we're going to take a little bit of pain here, but let's see. I've got SPY on my other screen too. That's what I'm looking at right now. See if it'll stop this little run up. But we'll try to flat it or better. So again, this will be a market order. Maybe we'll get price improvement or something like that. So I'm going to get out there. You see how fast the execution was, and we did get a price improvement. The bids were only 122, but they filled me in between at 123. So again, price improvement on market orders, just one contract. But that's execution, so that's what you have to look forward to here. Again, you can configure these any way you want. I use a combination of limit orders and market orders, and it's the same thing I use with stocks. But that's a very basic look at options trading. You do have to apply for different levels. I think they have 5 levels of options expertise when you apply for options trading in your account. But there are some advantages, especially if you want to scalp and use a cash account with the shortened settlement times. And obviously options have a lot of risk and volatility and that time expiration, but they are a lot cheaper to trade than the underlying instrument, right? Apple at $120 a share, trading 100 shares of Apple and trying to capture some small price movement, it's an expensive endeavor. It's over $10,000 you got to put up for that. Whereas you could trade the corresponding option, a near-term option like what we were looking at here in SPY or Apple, and it's much cheaper. So I'm going to wrap this up here. I hope this gives you guys some insight into what's available in Fidelity for options traders and the tools and analysis and strategy builders and some of the things I showed you earlier in the video. There's quite a bit there. Again, I trust the platform mainly because of its executions. The stability throughout this year has been very good. A lot of people have some qualms about the platform. It's a little bit dated, etc., etc. But all through problems at Robinhood and problems at TD Ameritrade, Fidelity has been up. So, as always, thank you for your support. We just crossed 2,000 subscribers on this channel. It's unbelievable. I started this more than a year ago, almost 2 years ago, but we really hit our stride with a Fidelity community, a lot of Fidelity traders involved in this channel, so we share a lot of information. So please throw your comments below. Tell me what you liked or didn't like about my presentation in the platform. I just kind of gave you a basic look and I was just doing calls and puts, but obviously there's a lot of strategies available to you and a lot of power in the platform to analyze some more complex trades, straddles, strangles, iron condors, whatever you want to do, and you've got the trusted name of Fidelity behind you. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I wish you the best of luck. Be careful out there. Crazy markets as always. Everyone's got a different reason for why the market is up or down each day, but really you just got to be careful. Protect your profits. Play good defense. Appreciate your support as always, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you.